You've got ideas, you've got ambition, you've got no time, or so you think. I'm Marissa Lonick, and I help busy moms with big dreams and no time. Join me each week as I dive into time management strategies, goal setting and achieving framework, and inspiring guests who are juggling mom life, work life, fill in the blank life. Dreams don't work unless you do, and just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't still make it happen, whatever it means to you. Welcome to the Mama Work It podcast. Hello, mamas, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Mama Work It podcast. Today, we are chatting with Tara Clark, an author, speaker, podcaster, mother, and creator of Instagram's Modern Mom Probs. Through humor and inspiration, Tara reminds moms that they aren't alone. In 2021, Tara founded Modern Mom Style Box, a clothing rental subscription service for busy modern moms. We are going to be diving into all things entrepreneurship and motherhood, and Tara is certainly an expert here, running multiple empires while being a mom for 10 years now. So Tara, first and foremost, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Marissa. I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. Well, let's hear the backstory first. Like, how did you even get started with Modern Mom Probs? Which, by the way, listeners, if you haven't followed this on Instagram, you need to. It is hysterical. It is relatable. It is like what every mom needs to see every day.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'll tell you my backstory. Before my son was born, I worked at Nickelodeon, and I actually worked in the social media department at Nickelodeon. But this was actually pre-Instagram. At that point, it was just Facebook and Twitter. And I often like to tell the story that I was Dora the Explorer on Facebook. And so my mom would run around and tell people like, "Oh, my daughter is Dora the Explorer." I was like, "Yeah, but on Facebook, Mom. Like, I'm not actually Dora the Explorer. I just like write her posts." And so when my son was born, like I said, 10 years ago in 2012, I left Nickelodeon. I was sad because I wanted to go part-time, but they were like, it's all or nothing. So I chose, okay, nothing. And so I stayed home with him full-time. Because also living in New York City at the time, childcare is extraordinarily expensive. And so it has to make sense to go back. So at that point, it didn't make sense for me. So I stayed home with him full-time. And when he was about 3 years old, 3.5, I said to my friends, I'm going to start an Instagram page because there was this new app that was out. It was called Instagram. It was just sort of like in the early stages. And I said, I'm going to start an account about parenting. And my friends were like, what are you talking about? Because at that point, if you remember, Instagram was really only like pictures of lattes or like a picture of your sandwich or like
Yes.
sunsets, that kind of stuff. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a thing. And they're like, I don't know about that. And I was like, no, trust me on this. And so in February of 2016, I started my Instagram account as NYC Mom Probs. And I was talking about living in New York City and sort of the challenges that we experience being a city mom. And then at the end of 2016, I moved out of the city and I was like, oh gosh, like I don't have those same problems anymore. So in the spring of 2017, I changed the account name to Modern Mom Probs, and then the account just took off from there.
Yeah. What do you think were some of the differences between being a city mom and now a suburban mom?
Well, some of the major ones, especially at the time that I would joke about, is like taking your stroller down the flight of stairs to get on the subway, or taking your stroller on the city bus or in an Uber. Um, Never using, car seats, car seats as carriers. A lot of times, obviously in the suburbs, you see that often where like moms will run into Target or something and they have like the carrier because the baby was taking a nap in the car or something. That wasn't even a concept that I even thought of at all because we never used the car seat like that or the carrier like that. So different logistical things. Obviously, school is different. That's many times if you're looking at private schools versus public schools, and the ridiculous process that it takes to get into a private nursery school in Manhattan is kind of bananas. So all of that, it was a lot of jokes about that. And then even over the course of the last 5 years, my account evolved just like we do as people and we do as mothers. But what started as sort of an account about first world problems and joking about certain things evolved into tr- talking about true modern mom problems, whether it's infertility or postpartum depression or mental health issues, all of those things. And so it was like, yes, of course, I still have the jokes, but then we started to have the harder conversations that also fall under the umbrella of modern mom problems.
Yeah. So modern mom probs got deep.
Hmm. It did. It
Yeah.
just sort of evolved. I didn't intend it to happen like that, but it happened. It pivoted like on its own. Like I said, it was a true evolution.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you said that because we are always evolving. And sometimes, when we're entrepreneurs, like even our brands need to evolve as we do. So totally agree with
Yeah.
that.
No, that my brand really did evolve like that. It's interesting that you say like not only me, but the brand, the content, all of it sort of just went together and I was kind of along for the ride, but really there for it at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So you have the Modern Mom Props page, and then
Mhm.
now you're in this style box. Tell me about that evolution.
Yeah. So also let's take a trip down memory lane. When I was first out of college, I worked at an office and I didn't have a lot of money for work clothes. When you're first coming out of school, I mean, at least at the job that I had, like I was not making, a ton of money. And so I tried to make my budget stretch as far as it could. So my work closet sort of consisted of like the same four blouses and the same like five slacks and you kind of like mix and match like these slacks with those bottoms and this and that. And I remember I was sitting at a business lunch with some of my other colleagues. And they, at this point, they were like 10, 15, almost like 20 years my senior. And I said, you know what would be a great idea if there was a business that existed where you could rent clothes. And then when you're done with them, then you send them back and then you get new clothes. And I was straight up like laughed off the table. They were like, that's the dumbest idea that would has ever happened. Like, no one would ever do that. Like, think about it. Like, how would you even go about doing that? And, they just like totally poked holes through it. And like I said, like, absolutely laughed. And I said, okay, fine. But I like, took that little idea and I put it in the back of my head. And then when other companies like Rent the Runway came out, I was like, that was my idea. But obviously I didn't have the infrastructure for any of that back then when that company came out. So in 2021, fall of 2021, I had the opportunity to start Modern Mom Style Box, and I had the infrastructure to be able to pull it off, and I did. And so my advice there is like, don't give up on your dream. It may take you 20 years to get there, and you may get laughed at by your colleagues because you were forward thinking at the time, but don't give up on it.
Yeah. And when the universe gives you a download like that, an idea like that, and it stays for that long, like it is meant to be yours. It is meant to be yours to execute. So you gotta make it happen.
Exactly, exactly. It's one of those things where, I have sat on that for forever? Yes, but when I was given the opportunity to jump on it, I willingly ran towards it because I was like, yes, this was my idea back in I don't even know what year that was, like, I don't know, 2004 or something. It was a long time ago.
So is the Modern Mom Style Box, I mean, obviously it's geared towards moms. Is it geared toward working outside the home moms, working from home moms, pregnant moms? What
All
can
of
you
the
find in there?
above. Yeah, all of the above.
Amazing.
So, Modern Mom Style Box is a clothing rental subscription service. So members sign up, and each box they receive 3 articles of clothing that they can choose to swap out as many times as they would like in the course of a month. So for me, I'm pretty particular and I'll keep my clothes just for a few days and I send my box, then I get another one a few days later. So I sometimes get like, 4 boxes a month. So I almost have new clothes every week, give or take. And we have dresses, we have jeans, we have joggers, like all of those parents that you just mentioned, like we have, clothes for all of them. We have maternity clothes, we're size inclusive. Some of the brands include French Connection, Express, Ann Taylor, Banana Republic, Loft, like all of the things that you would wear to the office
Yeah.
and beyond.
So good. I mean, I am a big fan of dressing the part, because it helps you show up more confidently. It actually, I think, helps with your motivation and productivity, helps you
Hmm.
get more done. Like it just helps you in so many ways. And I don't know about you, Tara. I think you'd probably agree if you're swapping this box out 4 times a month, but like a new outfit makes me feel killer.
Yeah.
sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. 100%. Like just my latest box, I had two pairs of jeans and a dress. And I was so excited because there's something about like wearing new jeans that one, if they fit and they look good, you're like, man, I am good. I am confident today. And so yeah, you don't have to sell me on that one. I think it's so important for moms to dress up and in my case, like I like to do my makeup every day, most days. Do my hair, all of those things because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel ready to work. I do work from home, which can be so lonely at sometimes, but I have the opportunity to connect with so many wonderful people like yourself. So when I do that, then I do like to feel confident and comfortable in what I'm wearing.
Okay. And one more curious question.
Hmm.
What if you get those jeans and you do love them? Can you keep them?
Yeah, that was actually a really good question. Yes, you can. So members receive up to 90% off.
What?
So I'm a member too. So like not only like is it my company, but I am also a member. And I've gotten jeans for like 85% off. It was like I stole those jeans. It was amazing. So yes, they're exclusive discounts. And dresses too. I was joking with one of my other friends who's also a member, and she and I were like, we're like spending so much money like buying the clothes that we love. But sometimes the discounts are so great that you don't want to let go of them. I have an outfit. It was from Ann Taylor, where it's a patterned blazer. It's like this beautiful like floral pattern. It is like lavender linen. So it came as a blazer and it came as a skirt and they had shorts that went with it. And so I bought all three, but I had to like do it over the course of like 2 or 3 months or like, 2 or 3 boxes to get all of those things in. And then once that I did, I just bought them all because I was like, how cute is this as like a full ensemble?
Yes. Yeah. Um, and also, how good does it feel when you are rocking something that you got for 85% off? I mean, just throwing that out there.
Yes. I love that. That was the best. I was like, $20? Yeah, I'll buy, a blazer for $20. And also, I bought another blazer. That reminds me, I should probably wear that this week or next week. Bought another blazer. It was an Ann Taylor one. And it was, originally maybe like $180 or something like that I got for like, I forgot what it was, like nothing. It was like 25 bucks. And it was beautiful. And it was like wool and it was thick and it was warm. And I was like, I am not sending this one back. So yes, it happens,
Yeah,
especially with the blazers, because I feel like that's such a good value for those because blazers can be so expensive.
they can be. And I keep my blazers. I've got blazers for like 10 years in my closet that I'm still rocking.
Yeah. a
Yeah.
100%. You know how I was talking about the job that I had when I was first out of college? I have blazers still from that time.
Yeah. Blazers are timeless. Blazers are timeless. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
they are.
All right. Tell me about what a typical day looks like for you. You're running Modern Mom Probs on IG. You are running now the Modern Mom Style Box. You have a son who's 10 years old. Like you're juggling lots of things. Tell me what a
Mm-hmm.
typical day looks like.
Yeah. So, I wake up, I get Jack ready for school, send him off to school, and then I come back and I start working. And so although the basement of my house has been remodeled to be my like studio slash office, I do find that most of my time I'm spent at my kitchen table or my dining table doing my work, doing my administrative work. Although it is very nice down here, but that's where I just tend to spend most of my time. And so, like I said, I do a lot of administrative work. I do have an assistant who helps me with certain things like my website, newsletter, email marketing, that sort of thing. She helps me on the Style Box social media. I manage Modern Mom Probs all by myself. And yeah, so that I spend a lot of my time doing administrative stuff. So I would say that it's probably split between content creation and administrative work. And then as far as like the style box, I work with a logistics partner who handles a lot of the back end part of that, which is the infrastructure that I referred to before. So I'm lucky and grateful for them. And then as far as my podcast, I have a podcast production team who does the editing work for that too. So I have some people on my team.
Yeah, you outsource a bunch of things.
I do. I have to.
Why do you think that's crucial?
I have learned the hard way that you just simply can't do everything yourself and you shouldn't. Like I do sometimes get trapped in being like, oh, I have to fix this thing with my website. And then next thing I know, like 2 hours goes by. And when I really could have just like hired someone who could have done it in 10 minutes and it took me 2 hours. And that's not an effective use of my time. right? So I could be doing so much better things. I just had a conversation with my friend the other day, and she was talking about her website, and she's a therapist on Instagram, so she has patients and other clients. And she was talking about, spending time on this particular tech issue. And I was like, no, go book another client to then pay for the tech guy that you need to get to fix that issue on your website. And she's like, yeah, you're right. That's what I need to do. I was like, yeah, because it's not an effective use of your time. And I've learned that through trial and error. And so now here we are, when I outsource what I can. Could I be better about it still? Yes, absolutely. But that's just sort of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I can so relate to that, especially, and especially our listeners who might be newer business owners and maybe the budgets are tight and things like that. And you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you just need to bear the weight of the world on your shoulders with everything. And I think there's value in learning all aspects of your business in the early stages. But as
Mm-hmm.
soon as you are able to, even if it's uncomfortable a little bit, whether that
Mm-hmm.
be, financially or from like a control issue or whatever that is, do hire someone else who is a genius in that particular thing that you may not
Mm-hmm.
be,
Mm-hmm.
because it is going to take you so much farther. As you said with your friend, go get another client to pay for that. Yeah, that's exactly the right formula to utilize, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
what makes you feel good, what makes you kind of thrive, what you're amazing at. Focus on that so you can be doing what you love to do, and then other people can be doing what they love to do. And I think also,
Mm-hmm.
like, energetically, that makes things flow so much better too.
Yeah, that's such great advice, Marissa, because what happens then is that if you're spending your time doing something that either you're struggling with, then it depletes your batteries, right? And so then now
It
you're
sure
like, "Ugh,
does.
now I don't have the energy to do actually what I enjoy doing or what I'm really good at doing because you just spent so long trying to fix this one glitch on your website and now you can't, do a podcast or do something else."
Does this ever happen to you though? Because it happens to me sometimes where, like, if I think, oh, I can't do that, or someone tells me like it's so complicated, I'm like, oh, try me. And then I'm like,
Yes.
I'm going to prove you and me that I can do this. So sometimes I'm like my own worst enemy there, because I'm like, oh, no, I can do it because I'm awesome and I can do all the things. And like, I'm going to figure this out. And that's good. I think that attitude is good, but sometimes it can harm you.
Yes, that is totally me. I am absolutely like that. Because when I had the conversation with that friend who I said is a therapist, and she was talking about her website, we were talking about it because I wanted to put something on my website that she had, and I had to figure it out myself and teach myself. And I was like laughing because I was like, I could do this. I know I could do this. Was it an effective use of my time? I don't know. But did I figure it out and did I correct the glitch? Yes, I did. And so then I was able to complete the project. And so that was really gratifying too.
Yeah, it is. It's a celebratory moment, I think, when you can
It is.
overcome those hurdles. Yeah,
I think so. And now I know how to do that, right? So that was a skill that I learned.
totally. Totally. All right. Well, here's another question that I'm asking for more like aspiring business owners, because our audience
Mhm.
are a lot of working moms. Some are mompreneurs, some are not mompreneurs, maybe thinking about it, but they're all ambitious in their own way,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So, for people who are maybe aspiring business owners, what's your best advice there?
My best advice is it kind of goes back to the conversation we just had. It's like focus on what you're really good at and then hire people to do those other things that you don't excel at. I like Fiverr.com. And so I'll go to Fiverr if I need a video editor for maybe something on YouTube or something that I know that I can do, but again, it's not an effective use of my time. So I would rather spend $20 to literally hire somebody to do something that would probably take me half a day. And I shouldn't spend half a day doing something like that. But I get it. Like I do most of the stuff myself, running my company and speak like use me as as the example. Like don't be like me. Hire the people if you can afford to do those things to not waste your time. So
Yeah.
that's really one of those. And then once you do hire somebody like an assistant or a contractor in some part, feel confident enough in yourself to then be able to explain exactly what you're looking for from them. Whether it's, a project on Fiverr or with your virtual assistant, say like, this is what I'm looking for the email marketing. And I want to hit these bullet points and I want it to be this tone and we need it to go out this day. And like, don't be shy or try to be like too nice. Like and to try to like save whatever, you're trying to save there. And I'm not saying be mean, obviously treat everyone with kindness and respect, but I'm saying like make sure that you're able to get them to work to the top of their potential underneath the lens of what you're looking for out of that project.
Yeah. Set expectations. Totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big thing because like sometimes then you hire somebody and you're like, oh, but like they'll produce something and it comes back and you're like, oh gosh, that's not what I wanted it to look like, or like the conversation that you have with them for the first conversation should be the one that lays out all of those things so that the outcome then is closer to what you had envisioned than otherwise.
So I'm a native New Yorker too. Do you think this is like a New York thing we have? Like we're just very like efficient and direct in our communication? Because like I appreciate that so much. And I think I tend to do that in how I communicate too.
Mhm.
Um, so do you think that's where it's stemming from?
It might be. It might be because you know what too. I mean, not that I'm making this like a New York City thing, but in New York City and especially working in Manhattan, you're working at such a high level with such high achieving people, and you're driven with, like I said, you're working with such ambitious people and such talented people that like you have to be at the top of your game. They're at the top of their game. Everyone's at the top of the game period. And I think communication is a really big part of that. So yeah, I think that can be a New York thing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I
And
don't I don't want to alienate anyone else by saying that.
yeah, just an observation.
Mm.
Okay. And then that advice, I just want to say, I feel like that could easily be applied to the working mom overall, right? Because
Mhm.
whether it's in your business or in your just general life, like outsource, delegate, get support.
Yep.
Don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel like you need to handle it all. Don't feel like you need to
Mhm.
learn every skill set. Use your time
Mhm.
effectively, right? Whether that's stuff at home that you could be outsourcing, whether that's stuff in the office that you could be asking colleagues, peers for support with, team members. Gosh, whether that's, hiring additional childcare so you can have a few hours to yourself or with your partner on a weekend, do it. Do it.
Mhm. Absolutely. That it really goes hand in hand, whether it's from your personal relationships to your business relationships and your business life. That really is the way to do it, is to outsource when and if you can.
Yeah. And I totally struggled with that in the past. Like for me, that was a big game changer when I was able to even just take one thing off of my list because all of a sudden I didn't feel resentful anymore. I wasn't like rage cleaning my house,
Mhm.
upset that no one else was appreciating it. Why don't you appreciate him
Mhm.
cleaning the house? Like all these
Mhm.
things.
Yep, yep. That's so true. It's like is am I the only person that's seeing how much work it goes into to having a spotless house, or to constantly be like picking up laundry off the floor, or putting dishes in the dishwasher? So, yeah, I think that's really important to acknowledge that.
Yeah. And I'll just say I'm not perfect. I rage cleaned 3 bathrooms last night.
I get it.
Because yes, because thankfully we do have like every 2 weeks a team that helps deep clean our house, which I am so thankful for. I made that investment, years ago when we moved cross country, and I just knew that was something I really wanted to make part of my
Mhm.
lifestyle and budget. So we made it happen. But Thanksgiving came, and that was the week that we were supposed to have our team come. And of course, our team's not going to come on Thanksgiving. Everyone's enjoying the day.
Mhm.
And so the house got a little gross. And last night I had a little bit of a meltdown and I like rage cleaned 3 bathrooms and it wasn't my best self, you guys. So
Mhm.
we all
I
fall off
hear
the
you.
bandwagon here sometimes. Okay.
Yep. I hear you. Yeah. No one's perfect. Hopefully they're
Yeah.
coming next week then.
Yes. Yes. Thankfully. All right. Finally, what is your favorite thing, would you say, about juggling working motherhood?
I love that I have the privilege of working from home so that I can go to my son's school if they're having a Thanksgiving party. I'm one of the class parents this year. Last year, and the past two previous years, I was the head of the PTA and we did Cub Scouts, and it was just so much. And so going back to saying no and pulling things back, this year I said I just simply can't with work and everything and life. It was just too much to being the president of our PTA is literally like a full-time job. We have like a ridiculous operating budget. It is like being a CEO. And so I said I just couldn't do that with everything else. So I think it's important to say no and take a step back when you need to. But going back to what do I love? I love the flexibility of working from home and setting my own schedule, and having my client calls on my time more or less. I'm able to pick up my son from school, and then I finish up my work day around 4ish, because like even if I pick him up I don't know, like 3 o'clock or so, I'll still come back and maybe finish off some emails and stuff. But then I really try to be as present with him as possible and not look at my phone and not respond to things, and be with him and my husband, as we finish out our night together. And so that I love the opportunity of working from home as I do. That's probably my favorite part.
Yeah. Working from home is so helpful when you are a mom. I mean, it just is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, eliminates such a time suck of a commute every day if you're commuting for a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and just, you don't necessarily have to compartmentalize work and home, which I love the fluidity there. But I love that you said that around 4 o'clock, you really do disconnect from work, because I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes working from home, that's hard to do. That's
It is
hard to
so
do.
hard to do. It really is. And I say, I try very hard to do that. And I'm pretty good about that when it comes to emails. I'm not as good about that when it comes to social media, because social media never turns off, right? And so I'm thinking about like, oh, my next post, or responding to people via DMs, or that kind of stuff. And so from like a corporate Tara, I'm better about that with emails, but then from social media Tara, it's a little bit more challenging, because I always like to post an evening post around like 8 o'clock or so, and so like that tends to be um, tricky. But that goes back to systems, right? If I was good enough about scheduling my posts out, then they would be scheduled at 8 o'clock, and I wouldn't have to have the mind space to be thinking about that while he's in the bathtub or something. But I think it's really important to put your phone away when you can and really just be with the kids, because you blink and 10 years goes by and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a 10-year-old, which is bananas. And also too is like, we don't realize, and I'm totally saying this about myself, is like we don't even realize like how much we're on our phones in front of our kids too.
Yes.
And I try to be better about that, because like they'll be telling us a story, and in our minds we're just like, wait, I'm just trying to finish this email, or wait, I'm just trying to like read the rest of this article or whatever. And it's like, you know what, they want our attention too. And so I'm saying that for myself just as much as I am for your listeners.
Yeah, I think we could all use that reminder sometimes, myself included, for sure. All right, Tara. Well, this has been such a good conversation. I kind of don't want it to end, but we've got time constraints here. So we're
Yeah.
going to move on to our lightning round now, where we're just going to ask you some random questions just to get to know
Hmm.
you even more personally. And then we're going to wrap up. Are you ready?
That sounds good. I am ready to go.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I've played this game with my family, and this is what I say. I would love to speak every language of the world fluently, so that I could go back and forth and talking to different people in their native
Oh
tongue.
my God, that is the best answer I've ever heard. That's amazing. I want that
Thank you.
superpower too.
I would be like the UN, but just me. That would be my superpower.
Incredible. Yes. What a great superpower to have. Uh,
Thank you.
you could probably actually get that if you worked really hard.
Yes, I could. I'm actually teaching myself Italian right now, and so that's going pretty well. I'm doing it on Duolingo.
Italian was my first language.
No.
Tell me something you've
Really?
learned, girlfriend. Yes.
No, you're gonna like laugh at me, and so I'm not gonna do that. But we could do that offline. But that's so cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we'll do it offline, but I will not laugh at you, I promise. I love speaking Italian with other people. Okay.
Grazie.
What is your cocktail of choice?
I like a nice. You're gonna laugh at this one too. An appletini. I feel like people like used to drink appletinis in like 2006, 2007, and then like you didn't have them for like a very long time. So I like an appletini, but I haven't had one probably in about, I don't know, 15 years. But I like vodka based drinks.
Yeah, I'm a vodka-based drinker too. When I drink, I don't drink that
Yeah,
much,
I
but
don't
yeah.
drink very often either. That's why it's sort of a hard question for me, because we actually don't really drink very often.
Yeah. Appletini though. That's a throwback. Yeah.
It is, right? I thought so. So that's why I was like, let me bring it back.
What if you could go on vacation tomorrow anywhere in the world? Where would it be and why?
Let's go to Sicily. You come with me.
Okay.
And we'll speak Italian. Well, it's sort of a dialect over there, but let's go to Sicily.
Let's do it. Okay. I'm down. What's your guilty pleasure TV show?
Just this week, I was watching the Casey Anthony special on Peacock. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my gosh. I saw it, but I don't think I can watch it. I don't think I can watch it.
It was really disturbing. It was really, really disturbing. It was really disturbing. I'll just leave it there. It was really disturbing.
I can see how that would be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. We'll end on a higher note than that. What is something most people don't know about you?
Oh gosh, I have an impeccable sense of direction to the point where I could go somewhere once, like when I was like 6 years old, and I could like get you back there now.
Wow.
I'm like a walking GPS.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that is that's your superpower.
That's my superpower. That is like my actual superpower. Yeah, I never get lost. I just remember landmarks along the way, and I mean, I use GPS when I need to, but like I don't really have to, because I have a ridiculous sense of direction.
Amazing. All right, Tara. Well, tell our listeners where they can find you before we officially wrap up.
Sure. So you could find me online on Instagram at Modern Mom Probs. My website is modernmomprobs.com. I have a book by the same name, and I have a podcast by the same name. So check me out wherever you listen to podcasts.
I can appreciate that brand simplicity. Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks for being here, Tara.
Thank you so much for having me. This was wonderful.
You've been listening to the Mama Work It podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and would love if you could take a quick minute to leave me a review on whichever platform you're listening from, and maybe even send a note to a fellow mama friend recommending it. Reviews and recs help this podcast grow and reach more like-minded, awesome moms. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click that button so we can stay in touch, girl. By the way, if you haven't checked out the Mama Work It website, please do. There are lots of free resources and great articles there that can help you with the juggle of work life, mom life, wife life, fill in the blank life. So head on over. Thanks again for being part of the tribe. I'll see you soon, but in the meantime, keep on working it, mama.